Barkley's going to try to score against Herrera if he can. Turns it over.
Right to Olajuwon, and Olajuwon doing a great job of helping out on defense. That's why he was voted for the second consecutive year the best defensive player in the league. Not bad at this end either.
That's the shot he wanted. He's a little short on that, but if he goes that quickly, there's nothing that AC Green or the Suns can do against him in terms of preventing him from getting a shot.
2 blocks almost to the second. As Phoenix will try to get off the final shot, down by 8. And that's Kevin Johnson who hits it.
Kevin Johnson has been your offensive star the last 2 games.
Maxwell off the mark, and Maxwell, you got to watch him. He's dangerous. All 94 feet of these boards. And that's the end of the first half. The visitors from Houston lead by 6. Stay tuned. The Prudential halftime report coming up after these messages.
This is the Prudential halftime report. Brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Well, Houston leads it at the half, 52-46. Pick your pattern in this series. The road team has won every game. Good news for Houston in this case. But the team that has led at the half has lost every game. Bad pattern for the Rockets, who got 18 points and 7 rebounds in the first half from Olajuwon. Charles Barkley, who played poorly in the second half of Game 3 and was very down on himself as a result, shot just 2 of 8, 6 points. He did get 7 rebounds in the first half of this one, and Houston leads by 6. Now, the number 1 team in the East, the Atlanta Hawks, big trouble for them. They lost today at Indiana 102-86. So the Pacers lead that series 3-1. Game 5 is in Atlanta on Tuesday night. Here's a look at some of the highlights from Market Square Arena. Atlanta's Kevin Willis, limited minutes today, scored only 2 points in the whole game after banging into teammate Danny Manning in the first quarter and hurting his knee. Manning got 14 of his game-high 35 in the first quarter, and Atlanta briefly had the lead. Second quarter, Reggie Miller cranks up a 3 here. He had 25 in the game. Indiana hit 11 three-pointers for the day, and they were up by 7 at the half. Here's a rejection by Antonio Davis off a Hawk shot, and it leads to the dunk at the other end by Kenny Williams off the break. More Pacer D here. Mookie Blaylock looking for the layup, but he's caught by Haywood Workman, who knocks it away. The Pacers blocked 7 shots. They win the game 102-86. Lead, as I said, 3-1. Now, after the game, Lenny Wilkins said that Kevin Willis has a hyperextended knee, but Willis said he understands the situation. The Hawks are a defeat away from elimination. There is no way he will miss Tuesday's Game 5 at the Omni in Atlanta. When we come back, we'll bring you a conversation with suspended Knick point guard Derek Harper. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. The Knicks and the Bulls will be Game 3 today on NBC. Tip-off at 5:30 Eastern Time. The Knicks will play today's game and Game 5 Wednesday in New York without starting point guard Derek Harper. He's been suspended 2 games as a result of the altercation Friday night. Earlier, I talked to Harper and asked him what JoJo English did to set him off.
Well, he pushed me in the face pretty hard, and that's the thing that I think got the situation started.
Do you regret what happened?
Oh, most definitely. It was very out of character for me. I don't think there's any excuse for it. At the same time, I think it's easy for people to say that you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But I think in the heat of battle, a lot of times you react, and all of the time it's not the proper reaction. And in this situation, I don't feel like it was a proper reaction. I do regret it, but I have to move on from it. I was punished for it, and I have to suffer those consequences.
Do you feel you were punished fairly? What do you think you deserved? You got a 2-game suspension and a $15,000 fine.
Well, I think the whole situation was blown out of proportion. I think the fact that it got into the fans and the fans were involved, I think that had a lot to do with the fining. The league isn't going to stand for it, and I understand that, and I respect that. Again, I have to just move on from it and deal with it.
As you said, it's out of character for you. You have a good reputation, and I remember earlier in this series, I think it was the second game at Madison Square Garden, You fouled B.J. Armstrong unintentionally, but it was a hard foul, and immediately you reached down to try and help him up, make sure that there was no misunderstanding. So now, in this key situation, you lose your head, you do something that's uncharacteristic, and I know it bothers you.
It definitely bothers me. More than anything, I think you feel that you're letting your teammates down. We're in good position to win it all, I think, and the fact that I'm not going to be there from them, it really hurts. But I think everything will be okay. I think our team is going to be able to bounce back through the adversity.
Phil Jackson said the other day that Derek Harper is a different player now that he's come to the Knicks, not the player that we've known for years and years with Dallas. And the clear implication was that somebody, be it Pat Riley or the atmosphere on the Knicks team, somebody has made you unduly aggressive now that you've come to the Knicks. What do you think?
I disagree with that. We're a tough team in a very tough town, and we play a physical game. We play a very aggressive game. For Coach Jackson to feel that way is his opinion, but Coach Riley and none of my teammates are pushing me to do anything. I play hard every night, and the game gets physical sometimes, and that's just the way it goes.
You're a veteran guy who would have a good overview. Are you concerned about the whole tone in the league now? The game is tough and sometimes physical, as it should be, but now it's spilling over into violence more frequently, and a lot of people who love the game don't want to see the excitement and artistry of it marred this way. Do you share that concern?
I definitely share that concern. I don't think there's a place in this league for fighting, first of all. I think a lot of it is stirred up because there's a lot of taunting going on. There's a lot of guys that provoke different situations, and it leads to more than you want it to lead to. I think the referees have to cut the guys from taunting so much, and I think that's going to help the situation a little bit.
Under the terms of the suspension, Harper not only can't play, obviously, he can't even be in Chicago Stadium today to cheer the Knicks on. He's got to watch the game like the rest of you folks on television. And if the Bulls fail to win the game, it could possibly be the last NBA game ever played at Chicago Stadium. If the Knicks win, they'd be up 3-1, and of course Chicago would have to win Game 5 at Madison Square Garden to bring it back to Chicago Stadium for a 6th game. We'll head back to America West for the second half of the Suns and the Rockets. Houston leading it by 6, trying to even that series. We'll send it back to Dick Enberg and Steve Jones after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
And welcome back as we get ready for the second half. The Houston Rockets trying to level the series at 2 games each, have a 6-point lead at the intermission. Paul Westphal, Phoenix coach, is with Hannah Storm.
Coach, a lot of rather grim faces, very serious, filing out of the locker room at this time. Among them, Charles Barkley. I know he was upset about his performance in Game 3. Wanted to come out aggressive today, but he only has 6 points. Was he pressing maybe a bit at the start?
Oh, I don't know. Things didn't go his way. We got another half, and I think he's very serious about this half, and we all are. This is the biggest half of the season right now.
How do you get Charles involved and comfortable in the offense? Did you guys talk about it at the break?
No, Charles will be involved. We'll just run our regular stuff, and looking for a great half from him.
Your smaller lineup seemed to be effective against the Rockets. So will you go more to that in the second half?
Well, we're going to start out with a little bigger lineup. We're going to go with AC Green and our most experienced, toughest lineup, and we're going to try to get after him on defense and figure we'll find a way to score.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. Dick?
All right, Hannah. On the other end, Hakeem Olajuwon, the leading scorer in the entire playoffs, averaging almost 33 a game, leads all scorers today with 18. But what you don't see about the big guy from Houston is what he does on the defensive end.
Yes, we'll show everyone why he's the Defensive Player of the Year. Let's circle Olajuwon right here. Charles Barkley's over here. Now, you want to notice how quickly he gets in here to change the Barkley shot. As we clear it, watch Olajuwon react and recover, and that is a missed field goal, and that is why he is such a great player.
All right, let's take a look at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics with Olajuwon a 9 for 14 half and 18 points. Both teams under 50%, but that's the kind of shooting one would expect at the playoff level. And front court scoring does disappoint Paul Westphal. The Suns only 14 points, with Barkley having only 6 to go with the 2 he had in the second half of Game 3. Will Barkley awaken? As Westphal said, biggest half of the season coming up. Ready for the second half. Olajuwon leading all scorers with 18. Ori with a big half with 12. Kevin Johnson was the only player who did not come out. Worked all 24 minutes, and as he was the leading scorer Game 3, 14 points to lead the Suns, and he's the fourth top scorer in all of the playoffs, Kevin Johnson. Karl Malone third, and Barkley is second.
Dick, Paul Westphal is going for some defense right now, going with this big front line with Mark West trying to body out Olajuwon down on the baseline.
West picked up 2 quick fouls to start the game. First shot missed by Olajuwon. AJ, but 3 red shirts beat him down court. Takes the shot anyway. And hits. Johnson continues his sizzling scoring for Phoenix.
Kevin Johnson has anything to say about this afternoon, they will go out with a win. He has been the guy that's played with the most confidence and aggressiveness at the offensive end for the Phoenix Suns.
52-48 is Ori. He had 2 threes in the opening half. The Rockets missed their first 2 shots. A 4-point deficit staring at Phoenix.
Pick and roll.
Johnson again. Tough angle. Oh, what a series of bounces. That ball refused to go out. How often do balls refuse to go in? That one just wanted the net. 52-50 on a pair of goals by Kevin Johnson.
The key for Houston is moving the ball and moving people in the direction of the hoop. They come with their third outside shot. Maxwell has his second basket of the ball game. He's got 5.
The 2 men we expected to be up there near 20 points at this stage, Vernon Maxwell and Charles Barkley, have been relatively quiet. Away from the ball, a foul. There's Thorpe, and that'll be his third.
Kevin Johnson started the second half looking at the basket. A deep jump shot for Kevin Johnson. That tells him that he is still on. Otis Thorpe led with the elbow and trying to get through a screen. He's now one-on-one against Barkley. Barkley says, give me an illegal defense.
He gets it. Kenny Smith, and that's the second violation by the Rockets, so the technical foul will be shot by KJ.
Otis Thorpe took that time to go over to the official and explain why he gave Mark West a little shot. He said he had both of his elbows up. Thorpe have done a really good job in the last 2 ball games against Charles Barkley. Rudy Tomjanovich wants to keep him out on the floor. Now watch, and this will tell you that players know what an illegal defense is.
Barkley, he can work the crowd, he can work the officials, work his own game. He's the John McEnroe of basketball. AC Green for 3. Rebound, Otis Thorpe. Thorpe, who was the 15th best rebounder in the league, 10.6, and that's with Olajuwon on your team. Kenny Smith drills in an 18-footer. 56-51 Rockets. Taken away by Ori. And 6 steals for the Rockets, none for the Suns in the game. Maxwell through the hands of Thorpe, and Ori can't save.
That pass, which was the right idea, was too much on the line, and Thorpe couldn't catch it, so it sailed out of bounds. One of the few turnovers that the Houston guards have made today.
Only the second. They had only 1 in Game 3. They just played terrific ball in terms of protecting the post. They've not given it away, and that's been the key to their success in the last game and this one. Barkley fades away and is off the mark, but Mark West tied up by Olajuwon, fouls. Could be Maxwell reaching in. Nope, it's Olajuwon.
Robert Horry had the right idea, thumbs up, meaning a jump ball, but the officials don't see it Horry's way. Olajuwon thought that he had his hand right on top of the ball for Mark West. Second personal foul in Game 3. Trouble. Rudy Tomjanovich had to protect him most of the game.
West makes his first point of the game.
West with a good offensive rebound. Now that looks like hand on top of the ball all the way.
Boy, did it ever. West not a good free throw shooter. Shot just 50% on the year, and that's what he gets here, 1 out of 2. 4-point lead. Rockets with the ball. 9 minutes to go in the third. Neither team to this point able to win at home. And remember, that plagued Phoenix last year. Olajuwon. It rolls out. Phoenix lost 6 home games in the playoffs last year, including the final game against the Bulls.
That's why they want to win this game so desperately. They might feel it might be a 6-game series, but they can cash here at home. Barkley not able to cash.
That was a tough angle shot. Maxwell hurrying it to the other end. Gets the basket and the foul from Marley. Quick little reach in for Marley. His first foul.
Marley knows what Custer felt like because he's by himself and Maxwell is leading a charge of red shirts, and you can see Marley's reaction, where did I get him? But the call goes for Maxwell. Doesn't get the three-point play.
Almost about like Olajuwon's at the other end. Houston's lead, pitching its largest of the game, 6. Barkley is 2 for 10 in the game.
That's the guy they have to bring into the dance. He finally gets a call. This is a huge foul if he goes against Otis Thorpe, because that's his board.
4 fouls on Thorpe. His loss in that overtime game 2 at the end of regulation was critical to that whole comeback.
One of the reasons is at this end of the floor. He's able to play Barkley head up. They haven't really sent a lot of people when Otis Thorpe has been guarding him, so Barkley has been forced to try to make shots on his own. The other offense, he's been able to score inside against Barkley, also rebound the ball.
Carl Herrera at the scorer's table. Barkley makes his first free throw. So mark down the time. 8 minutes, 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Thorpe goes out with his 4th foul. Let's see if the Suns can take advantage. Barkley after his 8th point of the game. And half of those on free throws.
Both guys.
58-54 Rockets. Herrera blocked from behind by Marley, and a jump ball is called.
Good collapsing and reacting defense by the Phoenix Suns keeps Herrera from getting this ball away, and Marley's right on top of that one to see if Herrera can control the tip. They want to make sure they surround Olajuwon here so he doesn't just catch it and go to the basket.
They try to get it to Olajuwon, but A.C. Green had fronted the big guy. And Green hustling down court gets the no foul. Herrera had him by the wrist for the Suns score anyway. 10 for Barkley. A 2-point lead.
Now what hurts the Rockets is when they stand. If they become stagnant and stay out on the perimeter and they don't make that shot, then the Phoenix Suns have a huge advantage. Kenny Smith, who was really struggling in game 2, a huge 3-point field goal.
We spanked that one.
Now see, they have to double Barkley when Herrera's out on the floor.
Now Barkley with a drive. Sets up KJ, sitting alone. This is badly. Maxwell loses the ball, but picked up by Ori and a foul. Mark West. His third.
The difference between a foul and no foul, if Maxwell and Ori connect, they're on a fast break, and Mark West isn't in there trying to make a play on the ball. He picks up another foul. But West is out there to try to deny position for Olajuwon down on the deep box.
Olajuwon and West. Maxwell for a 3, and rebound Marley. And the Suns are fortunate that Maxwell doesn't have the hot hand that he showed in the second half of game 3.
What he's got to continue to do is shoot the ball, though. Olajuwon gambled, and Ori missed the steal, and that cost him with Ori picking up the foul. Olajuwon, who plays unorthodox defense, he'll gamble when you don't want him to, and they wanted a flagrant foul. They don't get the call.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. By Mita, maker of reliable copiers and plain paper fax machines. The times demand Mita. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
Welcome back to sizzling Phoenix, Arizona. It's over 100 degrees today, and this is right across from the hotel, Ritz-Carlton here in Scottsdale, where the Rockets are staying. Their restaurant, Houston's, and they've jerry-rigged their own message for the visitors from Texas. Mark West at the line as we play here in the West in the semifinals. 61-57 as West has his second point. Old Dominion. Moses Malone from St. Petersburg, Virginia, same hometown as Mark West. So he's 1 for 2, consistent there.
Maxwell knocked away by Barkley, but the foul not on Barkley, but someone else reaching in.
Kevin Johnson, the second.
The Rockets know they have to have penetration, either via the pass or the dribble. They give the foul to Kevin Johnson. Barkley thought he made a clean steal. Maxwell trying to create something right now.
Olajuwon over West. Barkley rebound. That's 8 for him.
Olajuwon has yet to score in this third quarter of play.
And the Rockets have maintained their lead. 4 points at the moment. Another steal. Barkley's been intercepted twice. Maxwell got him.
That pass didn't have anything on it. Maxwell was able to just walk back in. That one is thrown out of bounds.
So the Rockets were protected the ball so well. Now suddenly here in the second quarter, a couple of turnovers. Point of the third period. Phoenix with the ball down by 4. Johnson left alone. Well off the mark and out of bounds to the Rockets. Kevin Johnson complaining that someone got a piece of his wrist, but KJ does tend to see a lot of fouls that aren't called.
Every player tends to see a lot of
Not
fouls
just
that aren't
KJ.
called.
Take that back. It's everybody. A runner by Maxwell. And there's Olajuwon with a loose ball. Ori. He wanted the three.
Well, Kenny Smith is sitting there begging, wanting a three as well. So let's see who loads up. Kenny Smith has a chance to get by Dan Marley off the dribble if he wants to go to the hole.
Olajuwon over West. A tough jump, 1 from 10. He has 20 to lead all scores. Back to that 6-point lead, the Rockets. Marley has to shoot in a hurry and hits it over Ori. That was a tough three. He has 6 points, both on trays.
If they could use anybody to come to life, it's Dan Marley. Only has 6 points in this ball game, 2 3-point field goals. He has really been struggling in the series.
That's the 4th foul on Mark West. His job primarily is to try to slow down Olajuwon. They know they're not going to stop him. But in the process, like Otis Thorpe, who has to deal with Barkley at the other end, they both have 4.
The difference is Mark West is not going to make as big a contribution as Otis Thorpe, and they planned on Mark West using all 6 of his fouls if he had to, all of Oliver Miller's and all of the Joe Kleins to try to slow down Olajuwon.
Oliver Miller, much shorter, but with this wingspan. Herrera, no basket, the fouls against Houston. It's Pavetta calling that one, I believe, Olajuwon running interference. His third.
Olajuwon wanted the ball. Herrera took off on his own. Actually, that's a pretty good screen. And the call goes for the guy on the floor, Barkley on the floor.
You got to give the officials a chance to call it if you don't fall down. You don't see it as well. Barkley, again, not missing, but missing way off the mark. He is now 3 for 13 in the game. Rockets by 3. Smith 4-3. No, he's on the line. Foot on the line. So it's 65-60 Houston.
Kenny Smith with the big third quarter. He's got 7 to keep Houston with that 5-6 point separation.
Nice handoff, but a beautiful block by Ori. Barkley denied. Olajuwon.
It was Olajuwon with the quick move inside. They pick up a foul against Olajuwon. That is four, trying to get position down at the other end.
Wow, Olajuwon with 2 fouls in a minute's play when Houston had the ball. Oh, my. Rudy Tomjanovich trying to figure this one out.
Steve Tabby will make the call, but watch, Oliver Miller is pushing his way, but then in return, he gets a little pork chop right in the middle of the chest. That knocks him down for a 10 count, and he just sits there. We come back to Kevin Johnson.
So with just under 4 minutes left in this third quarter, Olajuwon with 4 fouls, and he's going to go out as Thorpe with 4 will replace him. Meanwhile, Oliver Miller gets the foul, offensive foul at the other end.
So they have been consistent in the calls that they have made, even though the players and the coaches haven't agreed. We've seen similar calls at both ends of the floor. So nothing is lost for the Rockets except Olajuwon goes to the floor. Thorpe will come back in. He has 4 as well.
Cassell back in, and he makes everyone know that he's around. Cassell with 8 points, and more the praise earned for this rookie from Florida State. This is the biggest lead then for Houston. It comes with 3 minutes plus left in the third. Cassell hawking Marley.
This is when Marley struggles, and when he has to put the ball on the floor and try to make something happen. He comes all the way in. The Rockets felt that they had good position, should have gotten either a call or the ball. You'll see Dan Marley trying to get into the scene. Now watch him close the door. Marley has no place to go, just lost the ball. 2 seconds up and down.
Cedric Ceballos comes in with the 2 seconds, and there's Herrera batting away, and now only 1 second on the shot clock. So this is a catch and shoot.
Rudy's telling him, hey, get off, and make sure you're in position to get a rebound. Don't let him have something inside. That's where Barkley's trying to work right now.
Barkley, and it's tipped away. 67-60 Houston. And timeout called by the Rockets. So even though Thorpe and Olajuwon foul trouble, Tomjanovich's team up by 7. So much is made of home court advantage. Losses at home are tough to digest. Ask Kevin Johnson.
The last time we lost in the playoffs at home was against Chicago. And that was very frustrating because I didn't want to lose at home. I didn't like that feeling of what it felt like to lose at home in a playoff game. And I think that's why we did such a good job against Golden State and getting out of the blocks early. And to lose here and not have dug ourselves a hole yet, but still let a golden opportunity slip away is something that I know I'm motivated not to let happen.
That golden opportunity coming home after beating Houston on their home court and then to lose Game 3 here.
He said it. He's motivated not to let it happen. Those numbers reflect the guy that's really trying to make sure that his team stays in the ball game. He's kept them in contact. And Cassell and Thorpe, they're trying to move the lead to 9.
2:45 left in the third. Horry trying to follow his own shot and committed the foul. That's 4 on Horry. So the starting front line of Horry, Thorpe, and Olajuwon, all with 4.
If Horry can improve its game, it's that area right there. Finding a jump shot on the move. He tried to come over the top, almost an automatic call. Ceballos is in the ball game as Paul Westphal is now thinking offense rather than defense, comes back with the small lineup. We'll go to the line.
8 points in the game for Ceballos. He got most of those in the early minutes. Shot very well from the free throw line in this playoff. 13 for 14 coming into today's game, Ceballos from the line.
Horry out, Olajuwon out. A lot of shot blocking is out of the ball game for the Houston Rockets. The Phoenix Suns have to think about getting the ball inside. They missed the free throw.
67-61 Houston.
Now what works for this lineup is the pick and roll. Whenever Olajuwon's out of the game, they go to a pick and roll game trying to get some movement. Cassell against AC Green, the clock at 9.
Oh, Barkley just levels Thorpe. clears him out of the way. No whistle. 10 rebounds for Barkley, who loses it the other end. Herrera to Smith, to Cassell, to Smith. Nicely done. Ball barely touching the floor on that move. And 13 for Kenny Smith. 2 minutes to go in the third. 8-point lead. That matches the biggest of the game for the Rockets, who have led mostly throughout. 18-14 was the biggest Phoenix advantage.
Good isolation for Kevin Johnson, but in these situations, he's trying to get to the hole.
Clears it out to Barkley. Marley wants the three. Herrera the rebound.
Barkley's probably saying, Dan, if you were going to miss, I would have shut down. I could miss.
Marley's had trouble in the series, shooting less than 38%.
This is a nervous crowd as the Rockets have had control of the game and the tempo, and Kenny Smith has been big in this quarter. 11 for Kenny Smith.
And the 10-point lead is the biggest for Houston in the game. Good job with the small line of defense as Green takes it in. He misses, tipped out, and Smith recovers. And Marley has to foul to stop the easy lay-in.
Barkley is just knocking down anything in a red jersey.
Second foul on Marley.
What is good about this break is they don't allow Kevin Johnson a chance to make them make a decision. They just created that opportunity. They had Otis Thorpe behind him. He had to be aware of Thorpe, and they just kept coming. Kenny Smith has been the catalyst in this third quarter of play.
He now has 16 points as Houston continues to build its lead. Barkley goes out with 1:07 left in the third. He'll be rested and they'll take advantage. Westfall will of the 2-minute break between periods to give his star a breather. Still unable to produce, and you got to give Houston credit. They've defended him well. Smith misses the second. 11-point lead, 1 minute to go.
What Houston doesn't want to do is let the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Johnson strike back very quickly.
Johnson misses the lay-in. Ainge can't get it. Herrera to Smith.
4-on-1.
Cassell and Marley was able to knock it away and a foul on Herrera. Marley denied a 4-on-1 chance for Houston. Herrera picks up his second foul.
Houston has always been guilty of running a break from the side, and they get too many people involved, and the ball is tipped away. Herrera tried to get back, and they called him for the foul against A.C. Green. Rudy Tomjanovich said that's a jump ball.
A.C. at the line.
Rudy ought to know by now. They're not listening to him this afternoon.
9 points for Green. Houston's lead 10 points.
48-1.
The Rockets showing the fans in Phoenix why they were the Midwest champions. Entered the playoffs with the second best record.
Big rebound, Danny Ainge.
And Johnson was out early, having trouble here in the third. Herrera and Marley. And it's taken away by Otis Thorpe. And a foul on Marley. Or is it Savalas?
Chris Gent got hit in the face with the ball, and he is still hurting. And out of this, they clear it, and Otis Thorpe gets control. Marley trying to get in there.
Jonovich, a fighter out of Hamtramck, Michigan. University of Michigan All-American. Tough part of town. Another guy from Charlottetown who fought his way as a player, collegiate, NBA star, and now one of the game's top coaches. He's done, you know, there weren't many believers when Houston left town to come here to Phoenix that the Rockets had a real good chance left, but
It looked like the series had sweep all over it, and Rudy has done a good job of getting this team to believe that they could, and right now they can, but if they can continue to control Kevin Johnson.
Johnson, who had struggled for much of the quarter, now has 21. Leads all scores. About 4-second difference in the clocks.
Houston wants to center the ball. Against this pressure, they want to get the ball in the middle and then try to look inward. It gives Cassell a little bit of a screen.
Knocked away from Herrera with 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Johnson Johnson wants it. And Kenny Smith cuts him off. Foul on Smith, his third. It'll send Kevin Johnson to the line.
Kenny Smith, who has really been very good in this quarter, didn't want to make a mistake, and he knew Kevin Johnson was going to be coming hard. And for Kevin Johnson, who goes left or right, if you're going to get him, you got to take him the way you want to go, not let him force you. And Kenny Smith had to react and picked up the foul.
Well, off the dribble, he's in the NBA elite up there with Tim Hardaway. Some of the others, but Johnson just so lightning quick on the dribble. He gets both free throws, 23 in the game. Puts a dent in the Houston lead at the end of the third quarter. But Kenny Smith, the former North Carolina star, 12 in the quarter, 16 in the game. And the Rockets threaten to even the series at 2 games all. We'll be back after a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Phoenix getting only 5 field goals in the quarter, trailing by 7 to Houston. NBC Sports triple header. We've called on all of our best personnel to give you a triple treat, and here in Phoenix, hey, where will it end? I mean, we got the best operating. Our technical crew. The Gorilla's had some problems with his shoulder with all those acrobatics of his, and he's been sidelined a bit. Glad that he joined us. Kevin Johnson and Marley. Marley pumps a 3. Continues to be cold.
The guy that got that rebound was Olajuwon, so he's back in at the top of the quarter with 4 personal fouls. Tom Donovich trying to break this thing open with Thorpe inside against Barkley.
Thorpe around Barkley. 75-66 Houston. Since the first half, and Johnson doesn't get it. Olajuwon, 2 quick rebounds. Maxwell wants the 3. Reigns moves out on him. Green on Olajuwon. Cassell takes Marley. Thorpe gives Houston another chance. 4 on the shot clock. A.C. Green. Green, Ames, Barkley, Kevin Johnson, and Marley, a small lineup for the Suns.
Paul Westphal very concerned and off his feet trying to find some offense right now. As Houston has done a good job of really controlling them and containing Kevin Johnson, they're going to get a foul against Sam Cassell.
And defense that drive with Johnson, they pinched him in a manner where he had no place to go with it.
Cassell has done a very good job of directing Kevin Johnson, but at the last minute he reached in and picked up the foul. It's on the pass-off.
Marley out and Mark West back in for the Suns, so they go a little bigger now. Barkley with a drive against Olajuwon, and Akeem with 4 early in the fourth. Had to give him some room.
And that's what Barkley needs to do. Instead of holding and waiting for the double team, attack immediately. And that time he won the battle between himself and Olajuwon.
12 points for Barkley. Olajuwon, the center from Ellie, has 22. 10 minutes to go in the fourth. 20-second timeout early from Paul Westphal.
Really, Tom Donovich realized after Game 2 that his team had to have movement. And so he's come back to the pick and roll, and that was Olajuwon with the hammer. And immediately, Paul Westphal said, we can't have that. We cannot have that. We got to find a better way to defend Olajuwon on the pick and roll. Otherwise, that's a certain 2 points over the top.
Only the Lakers against the San Francisco Warriors in 1969. That was West Baylor era. Were able to come back from, in a best-of-7 playoff series, from losing the first 2 at home. That's the onus and the challenge of the Houston Rockets.
That is a lot of history that they're fighting right there. But this year, I guess 1 beat 8. So anything is, 8 beat 1. So anything.
Kevin Johnson goes southpaw and has 25. 77-70 with 9:50 to go. Pulls up with a 16-footer. Well, he just gives you solid minutes. Arioli has 5.
Ellie can continue to measure that shot, then that makes it real tough for the Suns to get back. Whoa, Olajuwon challenge. Kevin Johnson almost got that.
But there's Olajuwon again. That's not his man, but he raises up so high, and Kevin Johnson had to adjust his shot. 79-70.
Look at West leaning against Olajuwon, and that's what he's in there to do, to try to keep him off the box.
That's a 3 for Cassell, and the rookie gives the Rockets their biggest advantage, 82-70, and a timeout. Phoenix with 9:06 to go, and the Rockets are rumbling again in Phoenix.
NBA Inside Stuff, Saturdays on NBC.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Today's Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Moment takes us back 10 years ago to the day Laker great Earvin Magic Johnson distributed a playoff record 24 assists as the Lakers beat Paul Westphal and the Phoenix Suns 118-102. That was Game 2 of the 84 Western Conference Finals. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. And we might add that Utah's John Stockton tied Magic's mark, 24 assists against the Lakers in 1988. Now the Suns will have to dig themselves out of the biggest hole of the game, a 12-point Houston lead. Time running out, under 9 to go. But the pattern of this series has been when you're behind, you win the games. It's overcoming big leads that has been the story of this series.
Being able to hold big leads at critical times has been the story, and Otis Thorpe picks up his 5th personal foul, and that's something that Tom Jonovich did not want to see happen that early. Big guys like to make little people pay for setting those screens, but you also have to use your head. Thorpe, they need you out on the floor, and now you're on the bench.
That was a little too obvious. Barkley finally hits one of those outside jumpers. He has 14.
And that's the reason that they need him out on the floor, because Herrera is not going to be able to deal with Barkley by himself.
Now the Suns need a stop, and can they stop Olajuwon? Yes, Barkley with a rebound. He has 11 rebounds to go with his 14 points. He wants a 3. Rebound down to Maxwell. It's the no-hair look on the floor for the Rockets. Herrera, Cassell, and Maxwell all choosing that style.
What the Rockets want to try to keep going is movement in direction of the basket. They come back to Herrera, and if you're the Suns, that's the guy you want shooting the ball down on the box.
10-point lead, 8 to go. Kevin Johnson, a 2. Johnson leading all scorers with 27. Houston's lead, 8.
What got Houston in trouble in Game 2 was they became tentative. Once they had the lead, they became very predictable. And right now, they're having that kind of an attitude. Ellie goes to the rim and gets the whistle.
AC Green said jump ball. The officials say, that's your second foul. He got the right number of fingers up.
Kevin Johnson was thinking 3, but his feet touched the line, much like Karl Malone did yesterday. And he said, I got 3. The official says no. Kevin Johnson right there, clearly on the line.
Ellie hits the free throw and his 6th point of the game. Marley, whose 3-point gun has been relatively quiet in this series. Overall, he's 19 for 52, a 36-point shooter.
And he only made 2 shots today, both of them 3-point field goals, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the third. So they really need to wake up the hot hand of Dan Marley.
Ellie's 2 free throws send Houston back up by 10. Kevin Johnson blocked by Olajuwon. Olajuwon, who goes over his own teammate Cassell to make his third block. Olajuwon, who was second in the league to Dikembe Mutombo in blocks on the season.
Olajuwon coming off the weak side, and for Sam Cassell, this is a thing of beauty. A save by Olajuwon, 11 on the shot clock.
KJ maneuvers into traffic. Barkley tips it in. Barkley was 16. 7:09 to go. 19 voices, 1,000 voices cheering the defense as Olajuwon at 7 feet. How nimble he is. 24 for the Green.
That's a tough matchup for Green when they don't close the door, and Olajuwon has a variety of ways of keeping it open.
Ainge for 3. Veteran Danny Ainge. And the fans feed off the tray in this town, as they do in Houston. These two clubs very much alike. Kelly. No foul. Look at Olajuwon dive. He's still in the backcourt with KJ. KJ still hasn't come into the offensive end. Barkley with 12, and now the illegal defense, and that'll cost Houston a technical. Rudy wants a call back at the other end on this play.
Well, he came hard with 2 hands, and he missed it, and everyone really missed the body of Mario Elie, and Rudy is saying, how can that be?
Time out. The Phoenix crowd has awakened.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars. And by Toyota, who invites you to check out their full line of quality trucks. You just gotta love them.
The Minnesota Timberwolf mascot here to help out his gorilla buddy on the injured list. 3-point shooting game between these two teams, and the winner might well be the victor in the game, and that's why Houston leads, hitting 50% of the trays, where you get 3 for 2. And Phoenix 4 of 13 as Ainge will shoot the technical to cut the lead to 6.
Both teams feel that whichever has the advantage in 3-point field goal shooting wins the ball game, and that has turned out to be the difference so far in the series. And we have a lead that was from 12 to 6 in a matter of a minute and a half.
Rockets led 82 to 70 with 9:06 to go. Both Ainge and Marley, of course, 3-point shooters with Kevin Johnson, 10 on the clock. Olajuwon comes out to defend, and he makes it anyway. Kevin Johnson and the foul.
Kevin Johnson has been the offensive story the entire afternoon. Cassell chased that one. He thought there was no contact. The bench saying we're in this one.
Joe Klein, the #1 cheerleader on the bench for the Suns. Kenny Smith and Otis Thorpe are sent back in by Rudy Tomjanovich. Herrera and Cassell go out. And a chance for the 3-point play for the shooting star of the game, Kevin Johnson, looking for his 30th point, and he has 11 assists. And the lead, once 12, is down to 3. Is it a jinx to get a double-digit lead in this series? Barkley on a reach-in commits the foul. Got to double-check. First foul on Barkley.
And Barkley has been creating mayhem out here at this end of the floor. Hands all over people, knocking people down. So it's really amazing that he's been able to go that long and not get fouled.
Olajuwon drawing the double team. Kenny Smith to Thorpe. AC Green denied the basket, but the foul is called on Green. It'll be his third.
I want you to notice at the end of this play what makes AC Green such a tough guy. Now what? All sure. I'm not even letting go now. And the whistle has already been blown.
Just an average free throw shooter. 66% on the season. But third in league from the floor at 56%. Gets one out of two. 87-83 as the Suns go on the attack with 5.5 minutes left.
The Rockets feel that they're the better defensive team, and Kevin Johnson is the guy that's going to try to disprove that. Kenny Smith has got to keep Kevin Johnson in front of him.
Haynes back out to Marley for three. And he misses again. Olajuwon collars his 11th rebound.
Now the Rockets are going to try to keep going to the basket if they can and try to drop the ball inside to Olajuwon. Thorpe.
Tough pass from Smith, and Thorpe scores it. Very tough in close. Back up to a 6-point advantage Houston.
Thorpe trying to do his version of Sorbalis and stay on the baseline.
And the foul on Kenny Smith trying to deny the charge of Johnson.
Open, but almost no angle, and Thorpe is able to power his way up and get the shot to go in. Kenny Smith picks up his 4th personal foul, and that is a 4th team foul. Rockets looking to get themselves out of trouble with the officials, but the penalty situation staring them in the face. Thorpe against Barkley.
Suns have a foul to give. Barkley throws it right to Mario Allen. Barkley's had 3 bad passes in this half. Maxwell from way outside, and only because he has not shot well, Maxwell, the Suns still in the game. He's 3 for 11. AC Green left alone. Rebound Thorpe. Time running out on Phoenix, 4 minutes. And it ticks away with Houston leading by 6.
Well, there's plenty of time for the Phoenix Suns to get back in it, but right now they're trying to force them to stay out of the inside game. Thorpe has been real strong and gets out.
Otis Thorpe chipping in with 12, defending Barkley, doing his share of rebounding, has 12 points and 12 rebounds. Talk about a solid complementary player. Look at that man, Otis Thorpe, and Houston continues by 8.
The crowd is quiet, and the reason why the ball movement of the Houston Rockets are able to get the ball down on the backs to Houston's Otis Thorpe, and the reaction, we're back on top, we're in control.
Thorpe was part of that sensational 1984 college draft. He was the 9th pick. Hakeem Olajuwon was the first pick. Look at Bowie, Michael Jordan, 3rd, Perkins, Barkley, all out of that's a pretty good team right there. You could go to work with those 6 players all out of the 84 college draft. Thorpe has scored the last 5 points for Houston. Phoenix desperately needs some scoring now with 3.5 to go. And Kevin Johnson, 38 on Friday night, 32 today. He, by the way, has now been named a Dream Team 2 and will compete in Toronto this summer. Whoa, Maxwell had trouble with Green and forced the shot. Barkley picks it off.
That's the kind of mistake that Houston didn't want to have and then come back with a quick score against them. That's what Kevin Johnson's trying to create. Olajuwon knocked it away.
What a block by Olajuwon as Barkley went up with a 2-handed stuff, and Marley has to foul to stop Ellie. What a big play. It appeared that Johnson had set up Barkley for an easy slam, but
you see him go once and then come back one more time, and that's why he is so great. Not only does he react to the first drive, comes back to take the second one away. And I'm sorry, Dikembe, you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait.
Oh, that is absolutely superb. He had denied Kevin Johnson. Johnson makes the great pass and able to whirl and get off his feet again and stuff the attempt by Barkley.
I agree with that.
That's why Hakeem Olajuwon for the 2nd consecutive year voted the league's best on defense. Plus, he's the top scorer in the playoffs offensively. So you want the complete player, and he answers the bell every night, doesn't he?
Every single night he has been there. He is the true definition of a warrior. Olajuwon again.
That's his fifth block. Barkley told us before the game, he said, they're really no better defensively than we are, except they got that guy that's the best player in the planet.
You see, he's reacting to everything, so he's closed down easy chances. That means the Suns are going to have to get it done over the top. Green's pulling them out of the middle.
Barkley and Olajuwon denies again. That's his sixth block. He's had 3 blocks in the last minute.
Got Olajuwon sprinted the other way. He wants to end it right now if he can.
Over Green, no. He sets up Ely. Mario Ellie, and Marley has to foul him again. So Marley's had his hands full having to foul Ellie, who's been set up. That's his finish.
When you have Olajuwon, you have the difference defensively. He made Barkley go to the offhand and then sprinted the other way, made the defense react. Ellie to the rim. Look at that ball go around, and you know what this is.
We've won the home court advantage back. And remember, of all the teams left, they have the best record. So if they can win at home, it is an advantage for them. It hasn't been so far for either team in this series.
9 in the quarter for Ellie, and
in your face, Kevin Johnson. Oh, my.
this is a huge effort by Kevin Johnson, knowing this is the only way you're going to get there, and Olajuwon picks up his fifth.
Oh, that's a highlight show. You'll be seeing that on your local newscast. Kevin Johnson. Look at the determination, intensity in this man's soul as he leads all scorers with 34. What a punctuation mark.
And if ever a team needed a lift with a play like that, and that's what a dunk can do, the Suns were sagging energy-wise. They need a big shot in the arm right now.
3-point play cuts the lead to 8, but time running out. Just over 2 minutes remain.
Eliza, you have 5.
Smith all alone for the 3. And he is wing spread aiming toward the southwest in Houston.
Kevin Johnson will not let them die. That's a 3-point field goal for Kevin Johnson. He's got 15 in the quarter. 8-point game.
99-91. 1:48 to go. And a foul on Johnson. And Kevin Johnson, who was the man in the entire second half of Game 3 in defeat with 38, has come back with 34. Now 38 today. 38 and 38. That's a holster full. Kevin Johnson, and yet his team, the rest of his team, not responding. And in particular, Barkley has had 2 games in which he just has not lived up to all of the demands on him, and that's to the credit of the Houston defense, Thorpe and Olajuwon.
18 in Game 3, 16 in this ball game, 6 and 4, so 10 in the second half. And Paul Westphal knows time is running out. He's got to come up with some defensive stops.
Top scoring team in the league, Phoenix. Shut it down.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
Indiana has beaten Atlanta. Houston trying to hang another loss on Phoenix at home, and it's the Knicks up 2 games to 1 against the Bulls. The third game of our triple header follows immediately, so don't wander away. Boy, there's so much going on in that series.
Get the ball in the hands of Kevin Johnson. Let him make something happen.
Oops, Olajuwon right there to stop that as Green tries the 3. Tipped out by Elliott, goes to Barkley. He tries the 3. Barkley continues cold. He's 6 for 18 in the game, 33% jump ball. So Barkley is 15 for 40 in the last 2 games. That's around 37%.
Even great players have slumps, and Charles is going to have to recognize that he's in one and try to start getting some cheap, easy shots, but that's not as easy said as done because Olajuwon is wiping out everything in the middle.
1:30 to go, and the Houston Rockets have the ball and the lead by 10.
All the Rockets want to do is move the ball, make the Suns make a mistake at the defensive end, and capitalize either with the cheap field goal, there's one, or a free throw.
Olajuwon with his 26th point under his playoff average, but he has been a huge player again in this one. Both defensively has been part of the stoppage of this Phoenix attack. Barkley gets a three. It'll be a quiet three with 1 minute to go. 9-point lead.
He could have dumped that side to slave. We got to save some energy now.
Now, how do you figure this? Here, two teams have played 4 times, 2-2, home and home. Each one at home, both games in the regular season. Now they get in the playoffs, and each team apparently is going to lose both home games. Ainge gets a second chance and converts. 39 seconds to go in a timeout.
Maxwell.
And Vernon Maxwell holding his right wrist. We'll check on that condition after we pause for this word from your local station. Back in Phoenix, they attend Vernon Maxwell. It was his left wrist that he was holding as he left the court. We'll get a report if time permits. Right wrist, I guess. And Smith able to get the ball down court. Chew up time.
That's all they want to do is pass the ball around, use all of the 24, and right now the Phoenix Suns are showing that they're a defeated team. They're not really challenging. They've got to get a bunch of points in a short period of time.
Smith with Elliot Perry saying his first duty guarding him, and Smith takes it to the hole. Just to add to the Houston lead, 105-96, and 21 of those from Kenny Smith. So Smith with 21, Akeem with 28, Thorpe with 12 points and 13 rebounds.
Barkley's going to hold it. That's the game.
The Phoenix Suns, who came home after 2 big wins in Houston, feeling they were on their way to the Western Finals, to find that the Rockets have a lot of character. To Phoenix, they have 2 wins. It's a best of 3 starting Tuesday night in Houston. So long, stay tuned for Game 3.